Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're exploring a question many people secretly relate to, but few openly admit. Why do intelligent people often prefer being alone? For some, solitude is not something to fear. It's something they actively seek. While many people feel uncomfortable being alone with their thoughts, deep thinkers often find solitude peaceful, even necessary. To explore this, we imagine a conversation inspired by the psychological insights of Carl Jung. Dr. Jung, thank you for joining us. Why do so many intelligent and reflective individuals feel drawn to solitude?
It is a pleasure to be here. The first thing we must understand is that solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. Loneliness is painful because it reflects a lack of connection. Solitude, on the other hand, can be deeply nourishing. For many reflective individuals, solitude is the environment where their mind functions best. When external noise disappears, the mind can finally explore itself.
Many people assume that wanting to be alone means something is wrong. But for deep thinkers, it often seems to be the opposite. Why does solitude feel so comfortable to certain minds?
Because the reflective mind is naturally oriented inward. Many people derive energy from external stimulation, conversation, activity, social interaction. But highly introspective individuals derive energy from reflection. Their thoughts, ideas, and inner dialogue become a rich landscape. Solitude provides the silence needed to explore that landscape.
So instead of boredom, they experience curiosity inside their own mind.
Exactly. For a reflective person, the mind itself becomes a place of exploration. Ideas connect to other ideas. Questions lead to new questions. And the absence of external distraction allows this process to unfold naturally.
Many intelligent people also say that social interaction can feel exhausting. Even when they enjoy people, they feel drained after long periods of socializing. Why does that happen?
Social interaction requires constant adjustment. We adapt our tone, our words, our reactions to keep harmony in a group. This process consumes mental energy. For someone who is already highly aware and analytical, that energy cost becomes even greater. After extended social interaction, the mind begins to crave silence in order to recover.
So solitude becomes a way to restore balance.
Yes. It is similar to how the body requires sleep. The reflective mind requires periods of solitude. Without them, the individual starts to feel overwhelmed.
Many intelligent individuals also struggle with superficial conversation. Small talk about weather, routines, trivial topics. Why does that happen?
Because the reflective mind is oriented toward meaning. It seeks depth, patterns, and insight. When conversation stays at surface level for too long, the mind feels unsatisfied. It is not arrogance. It is simply a different psychological orientation.
So the preference for solitude may not be a rejection of people, but a search for more meaningful interaction.
Precisely. Many reflective individuals would love long conversations about philosophy, psychology, creativity, or the nature of human existence. But such conversations are rare in everyday life. When the environment doesn't offer intellectual depth, solitude becomes the next best alternative.
Another pattern, intelligent people often become very observant. They notice behavior patterns, contradictions, subtle emotional signals. Does this heightened awareness influence their social experience?
Very much so. Awareness changes perception. When someone becomes highly perceptive, they start seeing layers of human behavior that others overlook. They notice social masks, unspoken motivations, hidden tensions. This awareness can bring insight, but it can also make certain interactions feel artificial.
Because the illusion disappears.
Exactly. Many social interactions rely on shared illusions, politeness, roles, expectations. When a person sees beyond those layers, participating in them becomes more complicated.
Another common experience is overthinking. The mind constantly analyzing events, conversations, possibilities. How does that relate to solitude?
The analytical mind processes experiences very deeply. After social interaction, it may replay the conversation, examining tone, meaning, intention. Solitude provides the quiet space needed for that mental processing. Without it, the mind feels crowded.
So solitude becomes almost like mental breathing space.
That is a good description. Just as the lungs require fresh air, the mind requires silence.
However, there's a misconception that people who prefer solitude are antisocial. Is that accurate?
Not necessarily. Many reflective individuals enjoy people very much, but they prefer fewer relationships with greater depth, quality rather than quantity. One meaningful conversation may feel more fulfilling than dozens of casual interactions.
That reminds me of what many philosophers say. Deep connections are rare.
Yes. True understanding requires shared curiosity, openness, and patience. These qualities exist, but they are not common. When two reflective minds meet, though, the connection can be profound, sometimes almost immediate. There is a sense of recognition, as if both are speaking the same psychological language.
But until such connections appear, solitude remains the natural environment for many deep thinkers.
Indeed, solitude becomes not an escape from the world, but a space for understanding it. In solitude, one can examine ideas, emotions, memories, and dreams. This process greatly contributes to psychological growth.
Does solitude actually help people become more self-aware?
Very much so. Without solitude, self-reflection is difficult. Constant external noise prevents the mind from turning inward. Many important realizations happen only in quiet moments.
So solitude is not simply isolation. It can be a tool for self-discovery.
Exactly. Many great thinkers, artists, and scientists relied on deep solitude. It allowed them to explore ideas without interruption. But as always, there must be balance. Solitude is valuable when it is chosen. When it becomes imposed or excessive, it can turn into loneliness. The ideal is a rhythm between reflection and connection.
So intelligent individuals may live between two worlds, the inner world of thought and the outer world of relationships.
Yes. Learning to balance these two worlds is an important psychological task. The inner world provides depth. The outer world provides perspective. Both are necessary.
One last question. If someone prefers being alone, should they worry that something is wrong with them?
Not at all. A preference for solitude often reflects a rich internal life. It suggests a curious, reflective, deeply thinking mind. What matters is whether solitude brings peace or pain. If solitude feels nourishing, then it is serving an important purpose.
So the preference for being alone may simply be a natural expression of a thoughtful mind.
Yes. Some minds explore the world through interaction. Others explore it through reflection. Both paths are valid.
To anyone listening, if you feel more comfortable in quiet places, thinking deeply about life, ideas, and the world around you, there may be nothing strange about that at all. Sometimes solitude is not an escape from the world. Sometimes it's where the mind grows the most. Thank you for listening.